Welcome, everybody, to the Boys and Woods podcast. Today we have Janelle from Crowding the Plate podcast. Welcome, Janelle.
What's up? Hi, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming. Really appreciate having a Cardinals fan on here since we live in Brewer territory and we get to pick on the Cubs today. So really happy about that.
Oh, yeah. It's been the days in Miseryville here in St. Louis, and I'm sure everybody's basking in it and loving it.
At least you didn't have to go 100 years without a World Series, though.
That is true. That is true.
I couldn't even imagine being a Cubs fan. I have a lot of friends that are Cubs fans, especially a lot of them live up north, like in the UP. And they, John, if you're listening, they went through a lot of years where they're just like the most dedicated fan base ever. But the sad thing is they never gave up, like ever. Like it's just like the lovable losers, like they always were.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always admired about them. They're the most dedicated fan base ever.
Yeah.
But we're spoiled here in St. Louis. I just read a article today from Fansided about it. The title of it was "Where Are the Best Fans in Baseball?" And it was talking about the empty stadium at Busch Stadium. And I was like, to be fair, like it's a heat warding in St. Louis. There's a standard.
Yeah.
When you don't win, we're not coming.
My dad always said you had the best uniforms in baseball, though. He always loved the Cardinal on the bat. That was his biggest thing. Like he loved that. Like he thought that was the best.
I like them. I just don't like the baby blue ones. I might be the odd Cardinal fan out, but I don't like them. It doesn't do nothing for me. I got the old Stan Musial version on right now.
Yeah, baseball season's really kicking up. I guess the biggest thing for me is the playoff push hits home since we're in Milwaukee, like around Milwaukee, middle of Wisconsin. We get to enjoy it a little bit, but I guess the problem also is there's half Cub fans here too, so it's like you're walking on eggshells. But we're going to the game on Saturday, so we're gonna watch the Padres. I'd never seen Yu Darvish pitch, so I think that'd be pretty interesting. I thought he was gonna be the next big thing, and then all of a sudden he had one or two good seasons, and all of a sudden he's out there. And we get to hate on Hader now that he's gone too, so that's even better.
Oh, that guy. He killed us. Like the Cardinals just can't hit that guy at all. I don't know. I mean, he's good. Yeah. He's good. But that's crazy you say that, though, because this next coming up Monday, I'm to the game at Busch to watch the Padres play the Cardinals.
Nice. Oh, perfect. Then
I've never watched them. Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
They have a loaded lineup, so it is neat to see all these all-stars you don't get to play. But
I specifically got tickets in right field. I think my third baseman's the best third baseman in baseball. That's partial. But I got tickets in right field specifically because the whole Tatis thing and the family-rooted history in St. Louis. And plus, I like to heckle a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure. We had Trevor on. He's a big heckler, yeah. You got to be positive heckling, though, and you got to start the "he's a bum" chant. Yeah. He likes to start that chant.
I have this shirt that the guys from the worst fans in baseball podcast sent me, and it's a picture of the St. Louis skyline with the arch and stuff, and it says "Embrace the suck." So I'm gonna wear that to the game instead of my jersey.
Nice.
So it should be fun. Oh. So you're in Milwaukee, so you're in Brewers territory. You know what? One thing I gotta say about the Brewers, they have got their pitching figured out, man. They never spend too much money on it, and they always seem to find diamonds in the rough. I don't understand. They need to give Mo some pointers.
Yeah, until they trade it away. They'll keep it until they can't afford it. That's the Brewers' way. I'm surprised they've actually kept Yelich as long as they have and gave him a new contract, because it just blows my mind that they wasted all those years on him. The MVP, though, I mean, it's hard to get rid of an icon when he wins an MVP. But he had some pretty
true. I've always liked him.
Yeah. I think he's a pretty
I don't know why. What it is about him, I've just always he seems really cool. And you know what? When he did that move last season with Yadi and Ueno, when they broke the battery record and he just walked up and took that picture, I was like, I fuck with that, dude. That's cool. Yeah. Respect for the whole game aspect of it.
Yeah. There's only
they got one half of the Contreras brothers too.
Yeah, that's true. He's got The younger one?
Yeah.
Is he the younger brother? Yeah.
Yeah. They are. What is his name? We have Wilson. Oh,
Well,
William.
William. Yeah.
Yeah, they have
Yeah, he
William
can
for
hit.
sure.
He can hit. Yeah, he's freaking got a bat on him. Like it's everything he hits hard. So he's definitely sees the ball well for a catcher.
Oh,
Obviously,
absolutely.
yeah. I had Pudge Rodriguez for a long time in my life, so that was fun to watch him grow up. I was even a fan of his when
Oh,
he
I
was in
bet.
Texas. Yeah, I'm a little bit older, so I remember Roger Clemens and everything. So it's some pretty good memories, like some baseball players. Like I think the Ryan Sandberg was still playing, like he was like in one of his last seasons, and I got to go see the Cubs, which I was not impressed by Wrigley Field. I don't know who is, like pissing in a trough in the freaking back is not something that I would advocate anybody to do in their lifetime. It's not a
Oh gosh,
accomplished goal of mine by any means, but
I've never been there yet.
it's a place to go just to baseball history. It's rich. Like there's Waveland
Right.
Avenue. There's lots of cool things there. I heard something today about the White Sox possibly wanting to move out of Chicago. Like they've been in that stadium,
What?
yeah, for forever.
That's crazy. I've heard a lot of teams are are in talks with like possibly moving like to different cities and
the Tigers, the White Sox. It's all these American League teams.
right.
What
I'm
do they
like,
do?
I don't know. Yeah, like I seen where I don't know who it was, like did like a poll with some of the players of what city they would like to see a new team in. And I think Nashville won it over, which I think a team in Nashville would go over great. I think it would do really well there. But it's if you add, because the Athletics are moving, so that's still a team. But if you add a team in Nashville, wouldn't they almost have to add another one to like even it out?
Yeah, you would think so. And what I would think is they probably would put another one in Florida, just because there's a lot of shit going down in Florida. Like they got minor league baseball camps are down there. You got your spring training
That's
down
true.
there. It's just a big hub for baseball. Put it in Tallahassee or something. I don't know. But Nashville
it'd
for
work.
sure. Yeah.
I think it'd go
Call
real
it
well.
yeah.
That'd be crazy though. Like the
The
North
Nashville
versus
Cluckers.
what would we do without the North versus South side rivalry? Like that'd be weird.
Yeah.
That'd be super weird.
You don't even want to think about it, but I'm like, God, the way Boston and the Yankees have been going over the last few years, spending all that money, that at some point it's just got to come to a head. And they're like, hey, man, let's just figure something out, or let's move this team just outside of Boston and give it a little bit of fresh pep, a little bit of shoulder rubbing and stuff. And let's just move it a little bit away. But if they ever moved it out of Boston, they just like people would lose their mind.
Oh yeah, because isn't Fenway that's the oldest stadium still in use today,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, I got to walk
that'd be
around it. I thought
crazy.
it was pretty neat. Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
that's
see
like
the Green Monster.
Yeah, it's in the heart of Boston. It's like pretty badass. It's old as shit, but it's cool at the same time.
Just to sit there and think of all the players that have actually been. Yeah, I bet it is cool. Think of everybody who's played in there.
Because it's the same stadium. They've just remodeled it. Like they've fixed it up and altered some things, but it's pretty badass.
I'd like to go see it one day. Maybe I'll take the ultimate baseball stadium tour when I'm older and my kids are all on with their own lives. So you said you got to see Pudge Rodriguez. So you know the aspect of Cardinals fans and having Hall of Fame Yachty's potentially, let's say, arguably Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a shoe-in, but
I can't.
One of those kind of catchers.
Yeah, I don't know who's really in front of him and who's going to be in his class, but yeah, he's probably second ballot if I had to guess. He probably won't be first ballot because of all the people that retired the last couple of years, they're going to push him out.
Yeah,
definitely. He's going to get votes, but he's not going to probably get enough. He'll be second ballot, but if he had gone in a different class, he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I expected this season to be for them to be lost without him, but I didn't expect it to be like this, man.
Yeah.
His absence is very felt. You could tell on this team, like the whole runaround and the whole miscommunication between like Contreras and the pitchers, like that was a fucking shit show and instinct to no get out. I feel so bad for the dude. I couldn't imagine coming from a rival organization, and that's like following fucking Johnny Carson. Like that's a tough fucking act to follow. And Cardinals fans, whether they want to admit it or not, were expecting him to be like Yachty, even though that's impossible. And I'm sure he felt the pressure. And then people are, he's not hitting well, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what the fuck do you expect? Dude, they have the weight of the world on his shoulders. And you got the front office saying, we're going to move you to the outfield. It's crazy. It's just insane. I never know. And then even on I watched this thing, AJ Brzezinski's podcast with Foul Territory, where he even said, like when he was with the Cardinals, I'm telling you, Yachty was out hurt. And Mike Matheny comes in the dugout when I'm catching that day, and he goes up to Yachty and says, do you think I should pull one? And Yachty's, I don't know. Why don't you ask the catch for that? Because he ran the organization like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of players like that. Your catcher is your battery. He's the one that starts everything, whether it be him calling a good game, especially now with the pitch clock and all this stuff. You get a pitcher frustrated, and that can affect the game. It's pretty nuts.
Oh, yeah. And I think, and personally, I think that's a lot of Waino's problem right now, is that when your catch partner like that leaves it. And I hate seeing what's happening to him right now, because I feel like I get why he came back. He felt like he had something to prove to himself because he didn't really finish the second half of last season off. But that picture that they got, the last regular home season game together, where they took all three of them off the field at the same time. I'm like, that would have been the coldest retirement picture of all time if he would have just retired, sailed up in the sunset. Right. You have nothing to prove. And to just see him struggle, 198. Come on. You're almost at 200 wins and we're struggling to get that shit. It sucks to see an all-time great go down like that. It's like Tom Brady. It sucks to see him go out like that.
So what? All right, I guess I had a question for you, since he's a rookie. Technically, he's a rookie. He's out of the 2020 draft. So Jordan Walker, he's their first round pick. He's like the first guy that made it out of that group, because I know they drafted 4. And 2 were pitchers, and one might have been an infielder, and he was the outfielder. So he's batting .260. He's got 11 dingers with 35 ribbies and 6 stolen bases. Now, the problem is they're trying to compare him to Schwarber and Castellanos. Now, I don't know about you, but those are 2 pretty decent players that are all-stars.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
You're trying to put him in the same category. And it's because he's shown promise that they put him in that category. It's not just somebody said that, but that's ESPN. They're always pushing this narrative. And Bleacher Report does it too. I don't know if you follow any of those things. Oh, yeah. They will push this. They will publicize these players. And I feel like sometimes that gets into their head, because they're doing bobblehead night in Milwaukee, and they'll have the player up there for bobblehead night. Now, that guy might not be feeling the best that night, and it's supposed to be his off day. They'll still bring him out there for a DH hit, just to have him out there so the fans aren't booing and being all negative. But I'm like, if you're a playoff push, you play your best players. You don't just play a guy because that. But I feel like they help that by saying this shit. Oh, he's coming back from injury. He's going to be just fine. No, he probably isn't just fine. If he couldn't make it out of the minors and he's batting $180 when he's still in the minors in recovery, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because there's a player that the Detroit Tigers just cut, and I think is Matan or something like that, and he was batting $143, and Tigers fans were losing their shit over it. It's dude, they just got rid of his contract. He was on a rookie deal. If he really wants to play for the Tigers, they'll just re-sign him next year. People don't even understand how baseball contracts work. I feel like baseball contracts are the most complicated of all of them. Like the arbitration thing, I don't even know how that works. I don't even know how they get draft picks anymore. Compensation.
All these rule changes. It's crazy, all these rule changes.
How do you feel about the extra innings, runner on second, pitch clock?
I hate it all. I fucking hate it all. I hate it all. I hate it all. One of my favorite things about baseball was always that there wasn't a clock. You couldn't sit on a fucking lead and manipulate the time clock to where you just fucking run that bitch down and hold your lead. No, like you had to give the other guy his shot and made the better team win. And the ghost runner shit, what are we, fucking 12? And it, like, the other thing with me with this, what is 20, 30 minutes? Like, you've already paid your hard-earned money. You brought the family out there for the day. What the hell is 20, 30 more minutes of your time? But it's this fast-paced thing. And I think that, along with analytics, has taken away the battle, like, that's really goes on the field between a pitcher and a bat, or in a hitter, and who's going to outsmart, who's going to get the better side of who. We've traded it for science and mathematics and what a batter can logically do at his which that's great and all. Just like stats, the numbers can be manipulated when you change the variable. Like, that guy might not show up that day feeling the greatest or play the greatest. And the analytics aren't going to tell you shit. You got to put that iPad down sometimes and look at what's going on in front of you. And I think that's lost in this game. It's lost. The violations, these umpires don't help the rules at all. Like, they are horrid. And I've noticed it's not just some teams. These umpires have been calling shitty games. It's everybody they've called shitty games.
Oh yeah.
It's like their egos are in the way. It's crazy to me. Like, who was it? Cody Bellinger returned to LA as a Cub, and because he got a standing ovation, they gave him a fucking pitch clock violation. And now you apparently have to give a 1-day notice, and if you anticipate a fucking standing ovation or something. I'm like, what are we doing here? That's crazy to me.
The one that bothers me,
I hate all the fucking rules.
This is the one that bothers me and my father the most when we watch baseball games, though. Bringing in a relief pitcher, he must face 3 batters.
Oh, God.
Because my dads, they used to clear fucking benches and bullpens back in the day. They used to be able to manage a game, situational players. A guy would come in just to get a guy out. That's what baseball is about. This guy, you bring in a lefty to get a guy out. You bring out a righty to get the other guy out. That's called coaching, managing the game. That's what a fucking
baseball IQ
does. Right. I don't understand.
That's baseball IQ.
There's certain things I enjoy that they tried to speed the game up. Yeah. The pitch clock thing, sure, have a pitch clock, but don't be so damn strict with it to the point where you're giving balls away. Like the fact that Brewers just walked like 6 dudes in the other day and like 3 guys scored in that game. It just made the game stupid. You made it this way.
Yeah. I think it almost needs to be long. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been like an astronomical amount of pitchers go on the IL, an astronomical amount of pitchers have to have Tommy Johns this season. And call me a conspiracist, but it's awful funny how this pitch clock thing comes into, and now all these pitchers are getting hurt and all this bullshit. I almost think they need a little bit more time. Not much, maybe, a few more seconds or whatever. But when you're hurrying a pitcher's mechanics that they've had for years upon years, how does it not cause injury? You know what I mean? Even with the fucking catcher too. Like I don't know if you know that the catcher's got to be fucking set by 8 seconds or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is that? What if he wants to throw down to first base and pick somebody off? It's ignorant.
The fact that they're checking the glove too, the home plate umpire's checking the glove every single time. The fact that those guys are checked in the dugout in between innings at the beginning of the game to check for foreign substances and whatnot. Why are they checking the glove every inning? Because I'm sorry, what is he going to bring out there between innings? Is he really having somebody sneak him some Vaseline or something? Come on. This shit is just getting out of control. Like the Scherzer one the other day just blew my mind. Like the first one, I think it was. Come on. What they say it was
that was crazy.
They said it was like hair gel or something from he sweated it down his brow and he had it on his hands and he wiped his hand on his belt or whatever. And then they like checked his belt and his belt was oily. It's, for frig's sake. Like this is the dumbest shit ever. Guys only got
I think they'd know when you fucking mix sweat and in that rosin bag, it gets sticky.
Yeah.
Like You,
They were
you,
using that
they
a
act like
long
it's their
time
first
ago.
day in baseball.
Yeah. I don't know about you. When I get hot, I'm a bigger guy. I sweat. I'm gonna sweat. This shit's coming off the
Oh
top of
yeah,
my head. You know what I mean? It's
right. It's
inevitable.
human
So
nature.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're gonna give them a fucking pitch clock violation for fucking sweating? Jeez, it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. It. I think that all these. I think we're eventually heading in a direction that I hate to say it. What makes the game great in baseball is going to be obsolete before long because everyone wants the theatrics of it, the fucking bat flips and long home runs and shit like that. With somebody the other day, oh, we love home runs after home run. I'm like, okay, but weren't you the same person that said that Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because they use steroids? Steroids don't help. Steroids don't help hand-eye coordination, but they do help. Let's chalk it up and say, yeah, it'll help you hit a longer home run. If you like dingers, why didn't you like it then? Why is it different now?
You guys loved it when it was the freaking home run battle between McGwire and freaking Sosa, but heaven forbid, Bonds is just hitting him out of the fucking park. Oh, they didn't like him because he wouldn't talk to the camera and give them what they wanted. I think that's really what it came down to. Bonds was an FU, I do what I want type player, and he didn't play by their rules because McGwire and Sosa he couldn't understand Sosa like half the time. The dude could speak English, but he pretended like he didn't know how to. He's hit the ball real far, yeah, like bullshit. Like I see him jaw jacking with his teammates in the freaking dugout all the time. But yet when he's doing the freaking interviews, he's hey, I hit the ball go real far, home run, yes, round the bases.
I remember that, yeah.
And yes, and then he went white. He went like. He fucking dyed his like pigment or something.
I've seen that. I was like, what the hell? Oh, it's awful.
Let's bring it up.
It's awful.
It's funny. I like it. I think it's funny.
It just, the whole Barry Bonds thing, let's be real. He was great before he was accused, because we're in America here, people. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. There was never anything that came out and said that there was no facts on it. I'm not saying he did or he didn't, but still. But he was so great and could still hit the shit out of a baseball before this all happened. Oh, no.
Look at that.
Sammy.
That is just crazy to me. He's changed his like entire appearance. You don't even look like the same guy anymore.
No, he doesn't.
That's just wild. Anyway, but that's what happens to a baseball player. Like when you completely fall off the rails, like that's just a baseball player broke. He's broken. Like he's not even the same person.
When you
anymore.
were and he was like high at the highest level in this game. When you go from being that high and getting all that attention to just nothing, that's rough. You're right. That doesn't even look like him at all.
No.
But yeah, the rules suck. I hate the rules.
So Charles and I wanted to go over this. Like we wanted to go over the playoffs. Just because the fact as of right now, there's not a damn Boston Red Sox, there's not a Yankee in here. These are the playoffs. So granted, your team's not in it, but there are some teams in here that everybody thought one of these teams is going to fall on their face, and they weren't going to do a damn thing. And that's the Baltimore Orioles, and they're the #1 overall seed in the American League right now. And they have a first round bye.
Ain't that nuts?
That's just crazy to me. And I think a lot of that has to do with Hadley, Rushman or whatever. His name is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Adley Rushman.
Stud. Adley.
Yeah, he is.
Call him Adley.
And how about that fucking performance by him and his dad in the home run derby? Like, talk about taking it back to what baseball's all about. And his dad was just giving it to him right in the sweet spot. I'm like, hell yes, Dad. And then when he switched the sides of the plate, I'm like, all right, now you're fucking bragging. That was awesome, though. He is, though. He's great.
If it started today and my team was out, I'd be like, all right, yeah, I want to see the freaking Baltimore Orioles and the Braves or the freaking Giants, just anybody that hasn't been there in a little while. I mean, hell, even the freaking Phillies, throw them a bone.
I'm still salty about that last year. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. That was a tough one. I feel like they got the best
that
of
was
everybody.
shitty managing right there. That was shitty
Yeah.
managing on the Cardinals' part. But yeah, it's crazy to see what Baltimore's doing. I personally, they've got one of my former Cardinals right now, and I was all for wishing him good luck until he talks a little bit of shit when he's, I haven't had to turn my pitch comm up that much because of a crowd in a long time. I was like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a minute. Was that a dig at us? I'm like, why would you say that? So I'm like, now fuck you, Jack. I don't want you to do good. I understand like some of the first comment that he made of, we unfortunately couldn't get the job done in St. Louis. I'm like, he's speaking facts. Like, okay, yeah, take your shot at the front office. Talk your shit, Jack. But the crowd thing, I was like, now you got me mad. There was no need for that. I feel like that was a little petty, and Jack can be a little bit petty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The baseball thing that really bothers me, because I've been watching a lot, because it's starting to get closer and closer to the playoffs. Even though your team's not in it, it just sucks. But Charles.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm over here watching row-by snowblower clips.
Snowblower clips. All right.
I've got the row-by lawnmower, and when I got home from that journey of mine, and I'm so sorry I'm late, by the way.
You're fine.
Oh no, you're.
I do this thing where I play nap roulette, and this time I fell asleep on my phone, and my wife's waking me up, and she's, Charles, your phone's making all this noise under you, and I'm like, oh my God, no, not again.
Just vibrating your nipples? Just vibrating your nipples?
It wasn't on vibrate because it wasn't on silent. It was just like I was like, shut up,
ding, ding,
go to sleep.
Ding.
I'm so sorry I missed the show. I'm sure
Happens to the best of.
I'm sure it was fantastic. How'd everything go?
Oh, we're good.
Oh, that's so cool. Nirvana in the background and everything. I'm so upset I missed
Oh yeah,
this.
you like that?
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. Yeah. So in the meantime, I sent Pat a picture because I don't like jumping in to the podcast late. I'm going to ask a question that was already asked, and then I'm that Yahoo with a foot in my mouth.
There's no
Roll by
questions.
YouTube videos. I went. I've got the lawnmower. The lawnmower's really nice, actually. It cut through 5 inches of super wet, thick grass. Fucking one battery.
Are you trying to sell her the snowblower now? Is that
no? It's so expensive. The one I'm looking at is $1,699.
It's not
I got an 11-year-old son. He's my lawnmower.
Yes.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I have an 80-pound dog that eats just as much grass as my push mower does. So it's.
Oh, I know that feeling. I got a pit bull and a Rottweiler. I know that feeling also.
Grass.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just up in the air. I don't know, because snow is a fecal mistress. And we're from the UP, so I'm watching this video, and the dude fucking Canada, and they're like, 40 inches of snow, 60 minutes. I'm like, what? 40
I sure hope we don't get snow that fast. Like, I hope it stays up. She doesn't have to worry about as much as we do. Like, she's a little bit farther south than we are.
So actually, maybe.
Yeah, I'm like less than 2 hours south from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll be in Chicago on Monday for work, so I'll be closer, a little closer to freaking Cubs Stadium anyway. So
we're taking the family to St. Louis next August. There's gonna be like 6 of us, and we're gonna be catching the Brewers versus St. Louis because the family is big Brewers fans, and so we've been catching Brewers games. And this year they're like, "Hey, maybe we should go to away ballparks," and I'm like, "Okay, this sounds fun." So
you'll like Busch Stadium's really nice.
Yeah, he's excited about the food.
I'm super excited about the food. I'll spend.
You gotta go to Mellow Mushroom Pizza in Farmington. Mellow Mushroom Pizza. You gotta hit that up.
Mellow.
Very good.
Mushroom Pizza.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going.
I'm going. Tell your old lady to write that down.
It's super good. Busch Stadium has great food too.
Yeah.
The Gas House Grill, they've got awesome food.
Do they? Yeah. Because the games will be on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday stretch. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's the perfect time to go.
Yeah. That's my fingers are crossed. Yeah, because we'll be there for a bit. We've got some Airbnb mid-city mansion lined up. I figured if the house housed 12 people with 6 bathrooms, it had to be in a good spot.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
When you're in downtown St. Louis, you'll be all right. I know like crime has really went up in St. Louis. Like they took that #1 spot of the most dangerous city in the United States, but like downtown St. Louis patrol that pretty well because of Ballpark Village, and that's their moneymaker. So they're really good about staying on top of that. So you'll be all right.
I've got a good
Milwaukee.
vibe on where somebody like me should be and shouldn't be.
You get the vibes. I'm the same way.
I look at my wife and I'm like, honestly, I don't think we should be here right now, and I don't want to find out why. Let's just keep
right. Yeah, in the Army we called that the fucking. You could just sense it, like some shit was about to happen right before it happened. So you get the hell out of Dodge.
See,
it's like it's awesome.
So, yeah, absolutely.
We learned this from the same place.
Yeah, that and I was listening to some effing podcast the other day. I love everyone, but I don't remember much. So he was talking about how most people can't survive on 4 hours of sleep. And I was like,
oh, come on now.
Like, literally, they take this big green weenie labeled 4 hours of sleep, and that's one of the first things you're introduced to. They bend you over real nice, they talk to you sweet, and then they shove it up your ass. So, welcome to the Army. I think anybody should go. Honestly, you should. Everyone.
It's a life-changing experience.
Truly.
They say you got to have at least, what is it, 6 hours? No, it is 4 hours of sleep at night, but it doesn't have to be consecutive.
It doesn't have to
That's
be
the kicker. That's the kicker.
You get 30 minutes.
It's 4 hours of regular sleep, but you need 2 hours of REM sleep total or something like that, where your body is at rest or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it doesn't have to be at one time.
Yeah, not according to Army regulation.
No, I'm giving you 30 minutes. You figure out where to sleep in there. You could sleep the whole 30. If you got to eat, you got to take some of that time away from your sleep time, though. So you got to just figure this out. I've given you.
Better learn to sleep standing up.
Side note, go and find your local recruiter today. It will change your life, and you'll meet wonderful people and eat amazing food outside of the DFAC.
Yes, go hang out with Sergeant Bazaar, the Michigan State.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michigan
Wisconsin National Guard. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the Michigan National Guard.
Too much. I'm sorry.
It is the Michigan National Guard, though. Bazaar is he's out of Iron Mountain. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good gig. You get paid good money to get told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, how long to do it. And all you got to do is do it.
I'm going to school for free because of it. It's fantastic. I just got off the phone again this morning with the University of Phoenix. I'm like, you motherfuckers tell me about my FAFSA one more time. I'm going to drive down there and blow FAFSA horns all over your campus. So mad. The dude goes,
tell him you got your media credentials. You're going to go down there and you're going to write up a bad story about him and post it in the local newspaper.
Internet blog.
Send a strongly worded letter.
So I got to about 10,000 wows on that website before I was just out of it, bro.
You missed this last night. You went out, you found a random website, and all it was is just wow. And you just scroll down, and it just adds them up at the top of the page.
All you do is scroll down the page, and it's just... So the kicker behind this was I was bored, and I told the internet to take me somewhere random, and then that random led me to the uselesswebsite.com, and the uselesswebsite.com takes you to a useless website.
It definitely was a useless website.
And it was just thewowdude.com or something. Like, don't quote me on that. Thewowdude.com might be a porno site. We're going to throw that out there. I have no idea. I don't remember what the fucking site was called. I have it bookmarked on my computer. I plan on going back later.
The things people come up with these days.
The book, I wish I could get back to that book site, the one with the outwit squirrel, 15 million ways to outwit a squirrel or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Janelle, would you like to plug your podcast? This seems like a great time to transition into it.
Please.
Oh, yeah. Crowding the Plate podcast. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Google, and Apple Podcasts.
Fantastic.
Go check it out. Go check it out. You
it.
can't see my thumb. I'm giving a thumbs up, though.
Wait,
Charles hasn't figured out the cameras. Charles's camera was like over here. Thumbs up.
God, good thing I don't do video on my podcast because I cannot figure this crap out.
Dude, that's I said Snapchat filter.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just screwed. No matter what.
Crazy.
It took us a long time to figure the video thing out, and then once we did, it was a lot easier. So
There it goes.
yeah, your left and right are very confusing when you first start. You're like, I have no idea what the hell's going on.
It's like your military left, like when you're trying to.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness. I was so glad I was able to jump in here and catch the last few minutes.
Yeah, me too.
I am
Yeah.
absolutely atrocious when it comes to time, but when I show up, I tend not to shine. I was trying to rhyme. It doesn't work all the time.
You're good. You're good. You heard it, everybody. Go check out Janelle's podcast, Crowding the Plate, available on Spotify, Apple, and probably anywhere you can catch your
Pretty much.
podcast at.
Pretty
You're
much
good.
anywhere you can catch your podcast. Crowding the Plate. How awesome.
Thanks,